the BMW X5M, the Porsche Cayenne GTS, and over here we have the brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. And of course, Nathan.
Guess what we're gonna do, folks?
We're gonna take them 0 to 60 and we're gonna do a very quick comparison. Coming up next
On the Fast Lane Car.
Now we're in the Grand Cherokee, and compared to the Germans, this is a sledgehammer, Nathan. Would you agree?
Yeah, you know, it's not as refined, obviously, and it certainly doesn't drive the same way, but in terms of spirit, this thing really has it where it counts.
And you know, they have made it better since the last generation. So while it is a sledgehammer, it's got a little bit of velvet around it, so now it's becoming much more, well, genteel, refined, elegant.
Absolutely. You know what? It's one thing right here. Steering wheel. I know it sounds trivial, but they actually had several different steering wheels out of several different vehicles that compete with it to find the very best combinations to make it the best steering wheel they can. And you know what? They succeeded. Really impressive stuff.
And the other crazy thing is, this car is tens of thousands of dollars less than the competing cars. And that, you know, you could live without the delicate little knobs when you're paying $20,000, $30,000 less, and you're getting very similar performance.
Yeah, and they've increased the economy and towing ability. This thing can tow well over 7,000 pounds now.
You can actually tow a horse with this. I'm pretty amazed.
I mean, think about that. I mean, this is really a race truck or wagon. Actually, race wagon. That's what I'll call it. And yeah, you could actually tow a horse trailer with a horse in it. And I mean, it's an everyday driver as well. Granted, the other ones are really, really sophisticated, so it's going to be in a very interesting world in terms of comparing all of them.
So Nathan, look at that, launch control, a button. Who would have thunk?
I know. And it's really simple too. You go to sport mode, you hold the button down, and then it tells you right here what to do. It's
and then what?
Simple.
Then you have to hit the up shift 3 times, a down shift 4 times, turn the radio off.
Nope.
Nope.
None of that. None of that. What you do is you put your foot on the brake, you put your foot on the accelerator, gets it a little above 2,000 RPM, you release the brake, and everything goes. And what it does is it actually prepares the entire vehicle electronically and mechanically to go as fast as it possibly can, 0 to 60.
Yeah, it firms up the suspension so that you're not wasting any energy lifting or lowering the vehicle,
That's
but
right.
It's all going into forward motion. It's way cool.
Yeah, it's a simple system. Everybody should be this simple. Launch control. Okay, I'm in sport mode. Push the launch control button. It says to launch, press brake and apply full throttle. Easy enough. Easy. That is the easiest launch control in the world, and we're already at 60. Oh my God. Wow. You know what? It's really interesting when automakers give you the time saying, okay, it's under such and such, and it's, you know, around this, because when you actually do that, when you achieve the numbers that they set out, it's kind of cool. This Jeep Grand Cherokee hauls ass. Oh my God.
All right, Nathan.
Woo!
Now, Jeep will tell you this will go 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, but that's very hard to do. We've never been able to get those kinds of numbers. What'd you get, dude?
With launch control.
Yep.
4.95 both ways. Woo! Yes. God, this thing is fast. I love it.
right, we're in a 2013 Porsche GTS, and Nathan, you have the sticker there. What is the damage?
It's $94,070.
And the Jeep that we were just in was $67,000 plus some change. So we're looking at, well, not quite $30,000 difference between these two vehicles.
Yeah, around $27,000 difference. And you know what? What's interesting about the Jeep is that the Jeep has, what, 470 horsepower? This one has what?
420. It's the GTS. And I know this car very well because I just spent a week in it. So I feel like I'm very familiar with this particular vehicle. What's staggering is that the difference, get this, the difference between this car and the Jeep, a Subaru BRZ or a Scion FRS. So yeah, that's the difference. I mean, you can get the Jeep and you can get a Scion FRS, or for all you Europeans, a Toyota 86.
Yeah. You know what though? I mean, when you're buying a Porsche, you're really buying part of the name and you're buying the technology, which is just staggering with this thing.
And I have to be honest here, this is one of my favorite cars. Yeah. It's, you know, 90% of the way to a 911, but it has all-wheel drive, it has room and utility for the family, you can put your skis in it, and it feels, and it is, much more refined. I mean, it just feels like these guys spent a lot more time sweating all these little buttons, sweating all the little details. I'm not saying that's a cut against the Jeep. I'm just saying, to me, the 8-speed transmission, there's just more.
This is a Roman vehicle. Roman happens to be European. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely your type of car. I know how much you love these things. I remember you cooing and oohing and eyeing and belling over one of these, and I understand it. Not that I support it, but I understand it.
Yeah, and you know, I think the steering has a lot more feel to it. The Jeep is somewhat numb.
It's a little artificial. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. And there's a real connection to the road here. I mean, it makes you want to drive fast. It makes you want to take quick turns. Not that the Jeep doesn't make you want to drive fast, but it's just a different experience.
Yeah. They're very different vehicles, I can tell you right off the bat. And obviously, you know, the technology, I mean, I'm looking at all these buttons, it's just...
There are a lot of buttons.
It's ridiculous. How can you figure this out? I mean...
There are a lot of settings.
You need a second degree just to figure this... I mean, this is where the Germans got, let's see the Americans try to figure this out.
No, they're just being very precise, Nathan, with their placement. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure they sweat every detail. I'm sure they think to themselves, why don't we put the heated and cooled seat here versus there? And the answer is because this is where the driver would normally... You know, I mean, it's
not where the driver
logical.
would normally. No, it's not logical. You need to be a monkey with 4 hands in order to make this all work.
All right, and there is an ashtray, which still pretty old school.
Yeah, the Germans, they smoke heavily as they go 180 miles per hour.
All right, well, the question is, how fast will this go 0 to 60?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Launch control is supposed to be activated by a button called Sport Plus, but I don't have that button here. And I've just spent about 45 minutes looking through the owner's manual, and I couldn't find how to activate it. So I'm just going to do the best I can with this car and see how fast it goes. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's pretty quick. There's 50, and here comes 60. Oh, that is pretty surprising. 5.97, 5.97.
Here comes more Roman in the Messerschmitt.
Ah.
How'd you do?
Oh, I got 3.97.
3.97?
No, dude.
You lie.
No, I got 5.97. You know, the power is there, but it kind of falls off a tree when you get to like 4,000 RPM. So I think if you really wanted the fast one, you have to go with the turbo. But it is what it is. Jeep takes this round. Let's find out how the BMW does. Alright guys, let me be very clear. Jeep provides these cars for us to test, but there are 20 other journalists here who also want to drive them, so we get them for a very limited amount of time. Obviously, we'd like to spend a week putting all 3 of them side by side, but you know what? We do real world testing just so you have a sense for what these three cars are like. All right, Nathan, we're in the BMW X5M, which, as it happens, is the most expensive of the three. How much is the sticker, sir?
$103,000, 103.
Over $30,000 more than the Jeep. That is a lot of money, but then you get a lot. This is the most powerful car. How much horsepower?
555 horsepower.
Well, it is certainly very buttoned down. So tell me about this car.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure, and that is that in terms of overall performance, this is going to be one of the most buttoned down vehicles in its class. On the track, well, M doesn't screw around. They want the best. This will be faster, by far, than the Porsche. I guarantee it. Whoa, see?
That's just a little toying before we do the 0 to 60 run. I do love the steering wheel. They all have really chunky steering wheels.
Yeah, they do.
But this laced blue and red steering wheel that, of course, lets you know you're in an M vehicle is nice.
It means
very
business.
Nice. Yeah. Then, of course, you know, you're paying, well, a lot more money for your Bavarian horsepower.
Yeah, it's going to give you those German smackdown is what I'm going to do.
All right, well, do you want to take it to 60 or should I?
Well, it's like, do I ever say no?
All right, you get to do it. I'll be curious to see what you get.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm just going to put it in sport mode. I like the older transmissions better. I much prefer manuals, but that's the way it goes. Okay, rev it a little bit. Here we go. Yeah! Whew. Man, this thing hauls. Wow, that's impressive. And the brakes are good too.
Yo, dude, how fast was that?
4.74 seconds.
Whoa,
Wow.
It is fast. Was it violent?
No, you know what? Because of the turbochargers, it actually just kind of pushes you and pushes you and pushes you back. It's not like boom, it's not jarring.
These are three very different cars, and I have to tell you, I'm impressed with the Jeep. For $67,000, it's right up there with the X5M and with the Cayenne GTS. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of car for the money, and if you think about what you're getting, all-wheel drive, big honking 6.4 liter engine, you're getting a lot of stuff in a vehicle that quite frankly costs as much as an expensive SUV.
Yeah, and the takeaway lesson, at least my takeaway lesson since I've been struggling with this all week, is if you're going to have launch control, Germans, here, have a little button that says launch control. It's not that difficult. Jeep figured that one out.
Yeah, and it works, it's just so simple. Boom, boom, go.
Go, yeah. As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
Thanks for watching, and remember, subscribe for a new car video every day. Nathan, check this out. Look at this day. I mean, isn't this a gorgeous day?
I love the Rocky Mountains.
We have everything here that we need. We have mountains, we have fresh snow, and we have
A 2013 Jeep Wrangler.